Here we are, folks, for round 2. Today's lesson in LuckCatchers 2 is going to be mining, my favorite subject, one of my favorite parts of the game for sure. And as always, this tutorial is recorded as I am doing the work. That way, there's no accusations of, oh, well, you did it perfectly because you had multiple takes. Nope, I'm going to make mistakes. And anyway, I'm not going to ramble on. Let's just get right to the mining. So you're new to the game, or maybe you've been in the game for a while and you want to know the best way to make decent money early in the game. Well, contracts is one way to do it. And if you saw my first video, then you know how to do contracts. That is a decent way to make money. But in my personal opinion, the best way to make money at the start is mining. Now, I've got my trusty tractor, just like in the first video. If you skipped the tutorial and you just want to go straight to mining, you're probably not going to have a tractor unless you pay to win, which you can go to the market to do that. I know some of you will. And for me, I got to go cities and settlements, go down to ships, and you can either buy a tractor, or if you're human, you buy whatever the equivalent of that is, or you can buy a brawler or the human equivalent of that. They cost quite a bit of gold. I think they're way overpriced in my personal opinion. And if you do buy one, then that's fine. You can go that way. But if you don't want to do that and you still want to make money and you want to have minimum investment so that you don't have to put real money into the game, buy yourself a Shibe, or for the humans, let's look it up. I'm almost certain they're called Sutlers or something along those lines. Yeah, Sutler MK2s. Same thing. It looks like if you ever see these hourglass symbols, by the way, that means a player is selling that item. If the price is reasonable, I recommend you buy it that way first. That way you're helping out another player and trying to get the in-game economy going. If not, then just buy, the 100 gold coins one. You should have more than enough gold coins after just doing your intro quest of just shooting down a whole bunch of pirates coming at you. Okay, so let's assume that you did the tutorial. You've got yourself either a what are they called, Dodgers? Oh no, is it Dodger? No, it's Pilgrim is the small one. You've got yourself a Pilgrim or a Dodger, or if you're an Orc, you've got yourself a Tractor, or at the very least a Brawler. In this case, we're going to use a Tractor for this. There are some items you're going to need to mine with. Item number 1. Auto collector. Not all cities have these. If you did the tutorial, you will get one of these for free. Just a quick note of where to get them. I don't think they're in the capitals unless players are selling them. No, none in the capital. But I happen to know that if you click over here so you go to market down here, click over here, look in Ashtar. I believe auto collectors are for sale there for a decent price. Enhancers, auto collector, 100 gold. So they're not cheap. They're quite expensive, but they're very valuable. So if you didn't do the tutorial, that's where to buy it. If you did, then you should have one in your capital already or equipped to your ship as part of the tutorial process. And yes, the tutorial breaks a lot. Okay, other item is going to be ground penetrating radar. This allows you to look into the ground and see what resources are available. We're going to go ahead and take off so you don't have to sit here and stare at a ship that's doing nothing. But ground penetrating radar is available, I believe, in every capital. You can get it easily. All right, that should be far enough for my docking port. If you go to your market, you go to wherever you are, just go to cities and settlement. It'll show all markets within 20 miles. And then is it tools? No, it would be enhancers. Okay, so ground penetrating radar thankfully is fairly cheap. It's only 10,000 silver. And if you don't have 10,000 silver, either run some contracts or do your daily login and sell some of the items for a decent profit. And you should be good there. So buy yourself a ground penetrating radar, an auto collector, and as a less important item, perhaps a crystal of any sort, either through your daily login. Sometimes you can loot them off the ground. If you can't, then fine, just fly without one. But these two items are essential. The auto collector picks up literally anything that you come over that is a mineral. So it won't pick up ship parts that have fallen off of ships, or player dropped packages such as this green one over here. This is a dragon leather I threw out one time. So it won't pick those up. It will only pick up mineable resources. The other item here, the ground penetrating radar. I already explained to you, it basically looks at the ground. So this is how these items work. After you've installed them in your enhancer slots, meaning your ship is parked in the same place that you have these items, you go to enhancers and you click on one of the blank spots and install those enhancers. Then take off in your ship. Go over here to the bottom. Well, it's bottom right for me. It could be elsewhere for you, depending on the size of your screen. So this little display, I can move all over the screen. Back in the day, it was fixed right here next to your portrait. So that's kind of why it's in that area, because I'm just used to it. All right, and then you hit the check mark to keep it locked there. That way it doesn't move all over the place every time you open it. Anyway, click on your ship. Click on the controller. I'll see it moved. Way to go, LuckCatchers. Okay, and then click on this little percentage symbol, which is your exploration button. This allows you to peek into the ground. Once you click on this a second time, it brings up this screen here, which shows the percentage of concentration in the ground directly beneath your airship. At the moment, there's nothing particularly highly concentrated here. Building stone's over 50%, but not that great. The way that we get a better reading of what is actually there, in fact, I'm going to show you here rather than tell you. So let's pull forward a little bit. I'm going to go up a little bit because I don't want to run into these trees. And you can't take damage from running into things on the ground, so don't worry about that. We're going to glide up right over this clump of trees. We should see a good amount of timber here in just a sec. Okay. Yeah, looks like someone's been mining here already. It's already down to 54. I happen to know that it's usually higher than that. Let's go a little bit more over here and see if we can find a place to mine. There we go. Okay, 75%. All right. So once you find your place, turn off your glide, stop your ship with the letter U, or you can drag the slider to right here or click on this button here. Now our ship is completely stopped. If you look over to the left, it says timber, 75%, IMA, and so on at lower percentages. Now, 75% is not actually the number. It's higher than that. If I click on my skills here and I go over to extraction, if I find this one here called exploration, I have level 3 out of 4. I don't know if you can read it on the YouTube video, but it says it allows me to reveal up to 75% of the concentration of resources, which means that even if there's 100% concentration, meaning it's absolutely perfect, it's totally packed full of timber, I won't know that. I will only know that it's at least 75%. So it's very important that when you can, get this skill up as quickly as possible. Each skill, of course, costs silver, so you're going to have to earn some silver before you get there. So even if you're just starting out and you only have this skill at level 1, and you only have extraction at level 1, and that's it, you can still make a very good amount of money mining. However, you're not going to make a lot of money mining timber. Timber is a very common resource. It's everywhere. We need to find something that is rare. That something, in where I'm at least, is called pumice, as in the volcanic stone that comes out of, it's filled with air bubbles, right? You know, the women shave their heels with the crap. Not that I would know that, right? Okay, so perfect. I've moved forward a little bit and I found a pumice concentration of 75%. That's a lot for me, because that's the highest my skill can let me see. Now let's say you're a human and you're way up here in Baragor. You're not looking for pumice, you're looking for whatever your special resource is. In Baragor, I believe it's quartz. Same with down here in Ashtar is quartz. In Nargval, it's pumice and volcanic tuff. If you go way further west, there's other things. Anyway, so we're just going to go assuming that you're either an orc or human near the starting area. And since I'm an orc, here we go. All right, so I found 75% pumice. Now I need to mine it. I click my ship, click the controller, click the exploration button, and this is already open, so I don't need to hit that percentage thing again. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click on extraction. You'll notice that costed me 63 mana because it costs a certain amount of mana per type of resource that I pulled out of the ground. And you can see I've started to pull them. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should move these indicators so that they're not in the way of my little update ticker here. That's the cool thing about these things. You can move them wherever the heck you want. Wherever you enjoy putting them the most is just fine. Okay, so I pulled out pumice. timber, food, phlogiston, iron ore, all sorts of stuff, but I really only want pumice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mine like crazy. I'm just going to hit that number 7 key and just extract the crap out of it. And you'll see my mana is just dropping like a stone. Boom, I am out of mana. Okay, so now pumice is still at 75%, which means this concentration was probably 100%. So there's a lot to pull out of the ground. First, I'm going to back up into this pile that I didn't pick up. Oh, there we go. I got it. Nice. Okay, now the higher tier your ship, the larger area it will pick up items from the ground. So mine is a tier 3 because I've upgraded it a couple times. Don't worry, that will come later. You don't have to worry about doing that right away. And because I've upgraded it, it increases the radius of my pickup. I picked up all that stuff. Now, if I click on my ship, remember, clicking on your ship starts everything. Do that first before you try anything else, because this wheel will disappear if you don't. All sorts of annoying things. So always click your ship first, then click hold, and you'll see right here I've got tons of pumice. I also have timber, stone, ima, some iron ore, some phlogiston, which is coal, and I don't need any of these things. So either I can shift click each one and then drag them off my ship and it will toss them, or I can hold on to them because they might be useful someday and then just go back to a settlement and dump them over and over. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue to mine pumice. However, if you look at my mana here, you'll notice it's not going up very fast. I'm at 168 out of 1,000. That's going to take me a very long time to get enough mana to blast this ground all over again. If even I have level 6 mana regen, you're probably not going to be at level 6. So the way that we speed that up is through mana potions. Now, you get mana potions multiple ways. Oh, I forgot to pick them up from my base, but thankfully I have a spare. If you go to your portrait and over to the right is your backpack. This lets you pack a few small items in here. They do not take up space on your ship. They're your character's backpack, essentially. I happened to put some mana vials in here. So I'm going to click on my little mana vial. Actually, because this is a tutorial and I'm trying to get through it quickly, I'll click on the bigger one, the level 2, and it will increase my mana regen 10x for 3 minutes. Whereas the small one increases it only 5x, but it does it for 10 minutes. It's a better one. It's a better option if you're mining in the long term, but for the tutorial, we'll quicken the process a bit. Now, if you look at my mana, it's kind of hard to see. It sort of blends in with the trees. It's filling up extremely fast. And I only have about a 3-minute proc on it, so I got to make sure I take advantage of every minute of it. When it gets close to full, I'm going to mine the ground like crazy all over again and keep picking up items. Okay, just about full. We're going to say that's probably good enough. And here I go. I'm going to mine like crazy. 777777. It's going to drain my mana again. And this ticker updates with each click, so you got to give it a minute. It's like an old stock ticker. It's that steampunk aesthetic. And you got to wait to see what the actual percentages are. Now we're at 72% pumice. So we're starting to drop below what our ship is capable of finding, which is good. I want to get it down to about 70% before I consider it tapped enough that it's not worth wasting mana on. So I'm going to back up into the stuff that I didn't pick up. Then I'm going to go forward. Remember, WSAD lets you go all over the place. So that's what you're going to use to move around. And I'm going to mine again, drain my mana. Never let your mana get all the way full while you're running a potion, because then that's wasted regen, because it's not regenning anymore. It's totally full. So even if you don't really need to mine, hit it anyway. All right, here we go. Gonna back up into all those resources, and I'm not able to pick them up because my inventory is full. So now I have to start to make hard decisions. What do I throw out, or do I not throw anything out? Well, I'm gonna throw out this dragon meat and this food. And you know what? I'm going to throw out this tiny bit of iron ore as well. It's not really necessary. So here we go. It gives me a 5-second countdown, so I don't accidentally just toss something I want to keep. It gives me a moment to think about it, and then I hit OK, and it immediately fills my hold back up with other stuff. This is how you sort through the stuff you do and do not want that you mine. Later on, you're going to get a mining ship that actually will only mine a specific resource that you tell it to mine. All right, so we are already full on inventory. Now, I happen to know that pumice and also granite, if you're up north, quartz, volcanic tuff, all that stuff is worth 2,000, or what is it? 1,000, I think it's 1,000 every 5,000. So if I go to the market and I go down to resources and I look for pumice, I can, yeah, it's 1,000 for every 5,000. Okay, so every 5,000 in my hold, I can sell for immediate 1,000 silver. So let's just do the math here. 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, almost 100,000 pumice. If I had 100,000 in my hold, I'm gonna get, what is that? 50,000, I believe. 50,000 silver, 100,000 divided by 5,000. No, it's, oh, dang it. You know what? I can't do maths. So 100,000 divided by 5,000, 20,000 silver, excuse me. Okay, so 20,000 silver just in this part of my hold alone. Now, if I were to dump all this other stuff and continue mining and fill it even more full of pumice, I can potentially, okay, so let's say I have 36 slots because I have a upgraded tractor. So 36 is 360,000. So 360,000, I'm typing this on my calculator, divided by 5,000, 72. So that's 72,000 silver per load of cargo. And that will take me maybe 10, 15 minutes. Way more money than I'll ever get doing contract work. Now, if I need this stuff for building my base, or I want to do something else with it, great. I can hold on to this. I can run back to a place to drop it off. And by dropping it off, I can just hold it there or sell it. I can just tell you now that selling timber, selling building stone, anything except for special resources is not really worth it. It's extremely cheap, extremely low value. In fact, you can buy it on the market for very cheap. If you're building a base, which I'll do a tutorial for later, buying the resources directly off the market is sometimes the best way to go, just because it's really fast and it just gets you to where you need to go. So I am going to pause the tutorial here for a moment as I run all this stuff that I just mined over to one of my bases. And once I do that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to switch out for the mining ship so you can see how the mining ship differs from just your everyday balloon. I will see you in a moment. So I took a little peek at how long that part of the tutorial was and saw that it was already over 17 minutes. I try to keep these things below 20 minutes, and I can guarantee you when I show you the mining ship, it's going to take longer than that. So I am actually going to do a second video. We'll call it advanced mining, and I'll show you how to really make an absolute embarrassing fortune using the mining ship. But remember, it will take time to get that ship, unless of course you pay to win. That ship takes quite a bit of time to earn the silver. You need 5 million silver just to buy it, and another 10,000 gold, I think, or 9,500 gold just to put the part in it that lets you specifically mine pumice or quartz or granite or whatever. So it's a huge, huge monetary investment in the game, but it is quite the payoff, let me tell you. Anyway, you'll see more of that in my next video, so I'm actually going to end this video here as I'm on my way to go drop off all these good resources and sell my pumice at Zatar. I will see you guys on the next one very soon.